John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.
Hello, everyone. This is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience, here at the Alkemalon Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one. One brick, one building, one block at a time. And as we often say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we show that we care about the things that we do. And as usual, I always hope and pray that I say something that is beneficial to someone. And today, I'm always jumping around and piggybacking. But most important, I try to always talk about something positive. And, so much is going on, and we all seem to be caught up in politics and death and different things that's going on in our lives that affect us in a negative way. We dealing with oppression, anxiety, depression. We dealing with grief in the family. But today, hopefully, I just would like to take the time out and let people know, and maybe not necessarily let you know, but just kind of jar your memory that we have to put everything in God's hand. And sometimes, and talking with each other, a lot of times people have a tendency to talk about they understand or know what you're talking about, especially when you lose loved ones. If you never lost a father, then you really don't know how it feels and you really don't understand what that person is going through. And if you never lost a mother, you don't understand. So I would, I think me personally, I have learned how to begin to just tell people I hear them and I understand what you're saying. So what I'm going to do is pray for you. And I pray that the Lord give you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be able to accept the things that you can't change. And we know that there's definitely nothing we can do to change that. So even at on that note, I tell people, will tell you to not to do this, don't cry, don't do this, it's gonna be all right. Well, it gets better with time. And as time go on, you'll be able to deal with it a little bit better. Because I lost my father in 2020 during the COVID. And here it is, just about 5 years later. I still have my moments. I think about the good times. I think about the things that he shared with me, the wisdom and the knowledge that he imposed upon me, and the things that he taught me. And I laugh and I grin sometimes. But even at that, there are times when I have my moments. I get a little teary eyed and sometimes I get a little depressed. But my mother always would tell me, John, you have to keep it moving. And I lost my mother in 2000, March. I think it was March or between March and June, May, June. I'm not for sure the date right now. But anyway, nevertheless, I lost her in 2022. And I think more or less she was just hanging around so she could kind of lead and make sure and be satisfied knowing that we had a decent, clear path of which way to go. Because she knew after losing dad, she was ready to go. But I think in the back of her mind, she wasn't ready to the point where to leave us fumbling and fiddling around, not knowing which way to go. So I think she took the time out and hung around 2 more years trying to show us and teach us and lead and guide us in the direction that we needed to go in to make sure that we would be okay. My brother would be okay with what he needed to do in the church, and that all of us was on the same page, and that we was going to be working with one another, because together we stand and divided we fall. And we have always been a very close knitted family. And after losing her, once she, I believe, felt like she was ready and we was ready, she gave up the ghost. And I say that because even during that period of time, she was holding on because we were still holding on. She was ready to go, but a lot of us were still holding on to her. And she was doing a lot of suffering as well. And the Lord gave to me and put in my spirit one day, and I whispered in her ear, I said, Mama, I love you with all my heart, but I want you to live as long as you want to live, but I don't want you to suffer as long as you're living. I say, if you're ready to go, I said, I don't want to, but I'll let you go. I said, I want you to know that I love you, but we need you. And she hadn't been doing too much of communicating with none of us, talking too much, because she was just ready to go. And she looked up at me and she said, Oh God. And she hugged me and told me she loved me. And those were the last words I heard her say that day. And we left and went home and told her we'll be back the next day. We was there just about every day. We stayed here in Detroit and they stayed in Ypsilanti. So we was up there just about every day, expressing and trying to be there to support her. And I called and told them to let her know that I was on my way. And being on the way, before I can get out the house good, I think within 10 or 15 minutes, they called back and said that they had told her, but during that time, she left us. So all I'm saying is that whatever it takes, just remember your loved ones are gone. Some of your mothers, some of your fathers, some of your sisters and brothers, nieces, nephews, cousins, uncles, and aunts, and we can't bring them back. But we are still here, and life goes on. And like my mother would often say, John, we have to keep it moving. So today, I just want to say that during these times, because I suffered myself, and I know how it is, I suffered an anxiety attack, and I thought I was about to leave here. And they asked me, I called my doctor, and they told me I couldn't come in. I said, you got to do something. I got to come and go somewhere. So they decided to let me come in, and they asked me some questions. Was I thinking about killing myself? I said, no, I love me and my family, so I ain't planning on going nowhere. Is you thinking about killing anybody else? I said, no, I don't want to go to jail. So we laughed about it. And even in those moments of grief, sometimes you can find something to laugh about. But they concluded, and they put me on medication for about a month to help me sleep, because I wasn't able to sleep for weeks at a time during those times after my father and my mother passed. But nevertheless, I'm just here to say that whatever you need to do, and like I say, I don't tell people I understand, because I don't know, we all deal with things differently. And sometimes your release valve might be going shopping, driving, going out sitting at the river, Belle River, or the water, and just looking out and meditating. And sometimes it may make you feel a little better just to holler, scream, cry, whatever that release is for you. If you feel like hollering, holler. If you feel like screaming, scream. You feel like crying, crying, cry. When people tell you don't cry, it's gonna be all right. They really don't understand. They have good intentions, but they don't understand your feelings. And nor do you understand theirs. So we all deal with things, like I say, differently. So we have to deal with it the way we deal with it. Like I say, if you want to holler, holler, cry, scream, whatever. And sometimes we have our loved ones. Make that phone call and check on the other ones, because remember, you are not the only one that's going through. If you have a family, some family members, they are also their mother and father, sisters, brothers, cousins, uncles and aunts, whoever they may be. But remember, you're not the only one. And I have some grandkids, and I love them so much. And every now and then, one of them will give me a phone call. And sometimes look like it be just at the right time. It picks my. They don't know what I might be going through at the time. Sometimes I may be okay, but it just does my heart all the good when my one or the other grandkid called me and said, "Hi, granddaddy. I was just thinking about you. What you doing?" And I would tell them either I'm at the store, I'm cooking, or sitting at the house watching TV. But it just does my heart all the good just to know that they was thinking about me. So just like it does your heart all the good when somebody called to let you know that they are thinking about you, just think about how you would make someone else feel, another one of your family members that may be going through some of the same stuff, that done lost loved ones, just to let them know that you was thinking about them. And regardless to what's going on, regardless to whatever your difference, sometimes we have difference in the family, where sometimes we don't quite get along with the other one for whatever the reason might be. You know, I may not know, but you know. But let's start forgiving one another. And even on that note, I would like to just take the time out myself, because I have met a whole lot of people. I've dealt with a whole lot of people in the church and out here in the world. And just in case, if I have said or done anything to offend anyone, charge it to my head, not my heart. We do things because sometimes it seems to feel good to us or better to us or make us feel all right, but it may not always be the right thing. So just in case I've said something or done something to offend anyone, or you felt like I offend you, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Maybe I just didn't know no better at the time, and after I thought about it, I realized it was the wrong thing to do. So maybe we need to just take the time out, call some of them family members, and reach out and touch them. Let them know, just in case, charge it to my head, not my heart. And let them know that I really love you. We are family, and together we stand, and divided we fall. So let's stand together. Is there anything you need me to do? I called my cousin a couple of nights ago. He lost his mother about 3 weeks ago, and which is my first cousin. He's my second cousin. And I was just checking on them to see if they needed anything, just to let them know that I was only a phone call away. And if they needed me to do anything, pick up anything to kind of lighten the load, or if they even needed to talk about something or anything, that I was here. So remember, consider others as well as yourself, because you are not the only one going through something. I appreciate you all for taking the time out to listen to what I have to say. Thank you and have a great day. And this is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience. Remember, here at the Alcumalon Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one. One break, one building, one block at a time.
John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience. John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.